Hammers up, everyone. Towelliee here. Today we're talking about World of Warcraft Classic BlizzCon 2017. They announced it. They had the little cute cinematic with Chromie reversing all the cinematics, like going back in time, and then you cue the World of Warcraft, classic intro, the crowd goes crazy. And deep down inside, folks, sigh of relief. I'm so glad that this community gets what they want. Obviously, I think in terms of the animosity between retail and legacy or private server communities is probably going to be pretty intense when it first all begins. But then I think over time, everyone's just going to mold into what they want to do. Retail will go to retail. WoW Classic players will play the WoW Classic version. I think that's great. So some of the things with WoW Classic, biggest question, Towelliee, will you be playing WoW Classic day one? Will you be going hardcore? Will you be creating a guild? Are you going to try to get like 10 million Scarab Lord title? No. I'm not going to do any of that. I am a retail player. I like playing the newest content. I like playing the newest dungeons, raids, features of the game. And that's me. If you don't like it, that kind of sucks. I'm just entitled to my own opinion, and I get to play this game however I want. Also, I already have done the content in vanilla when it was out, when it first came out, all the way up to Thaddeus in Nax. So maybe when World of Warcraft Classic comes out, I'll level to 60 and try to get myself into like a friend's guild, and maybe I can then kill every boss that I didn't kill after Thaddeus for shits and giggles. Because Kel'Thuzad would have been pretty cool, but I never got to that point. Now, I like to move forward in WoW. I don't like to go backwards, but I respect the nostalgia. I respect the old school. I had my own characters on private servers. I had my own characters on Nostalrius. They also went boop, kaput afterwards. And I kind of had this feeling that after Nostalrius went down, I just wasn't ever going to level on the private server again. Just because of that, fear like, oh my god, now I got to level again, up to whatever point I stopped. And then hope that this server doesn't get fucking wrecked. Now, J. Allen Brack just in an interview that these World of Warcraft Classic servers are staying here forever, as long as there is a World of Warcraft. And I think that's great, because that gives me more incentive to log in whenever I, want, and then level to 60, and not have to worry about my gear and my character being deleted, or a cease and desist letter coming down from Blizzard, and now your private server gets, fucking McCucked and you're done. So when the WoW Classic servers got announced and I saw that news, I was really stoked about that. But in general, no, I won't be playing on day one unless I'm in the middle of a drought, and that means like a retail content drought. A perfect example would be like right now we're up against Argus, the Unmaker, and Antorus. Our guild goes through that, progresses through that. That's the last raid of the expansion. We defeat that boss and we're done until the new expansion comes out. Now, if the WoW Classic servers come out during these droughts, which I think they should, because that would help them retain subscribers overall, then yeah, I would play on the day one of Classic release. But if I have retail obligations, I will always choose retail over Classic, because like I said, I've already been through Classic. I know the struggles, I know the grinding, I know the time investment that needed to get in Classic WoW. I know a lot of peers of mine that stream. They're all going to go all out. They're going to create their own guilds and raid and do all that, and I'm happy for them. I'm glad they're going to be doing that. I'm also glad that Twitch is going to be separating the categories for World of Warcraft Classic and World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. That was like the only thing I really cared about when it came to the streaming aspect of it. That way, you won't have as much trolling and toxicity between communities as some people are streaming. So I'm happy for that. So, Classic guys, go out there, do your fucking thing, bro. Grind your gear, get that Dark Iron Fire Resist, farm your shards, get your Vanish Powder, do what level up your Unarmed. That's all good, bro. I'm gonna watch a lot of those streams myself just to live vicariously through some of those players. And like I said, if we're in the middle of a drought, I'll be playing too. Now, and I'll be in my little retail channel, just kind of playing the new shit. And if people want to watch, they will. If they don't, whatever. But people tend to watch anyway, so. Now, when I do in fact level in the World of Warcraft Classic, my priority will not be PvE, although I will do dungeons on the way to 60, because they were pretty fun and took a long fucking time. I am really excited about PvP, because PvP in vanilla is when shit was real. And if you don't agree, God help you. Then you're fucking delusional. PvP in World of Warcraft Classic was amazing. I hope they don't get rid of any of the shit that made the PvP amazing, such as like the long-ass AVs or the Warsong Gulges. Although they could fix that bug in Warsong Gulch where you could take the flag and go above like the doorway and just sit there immune and not take any damage. I think they fixed that though by the time the Nostalrius version of WoW came out in Classic. Anyway, but PvP was so good, and World PvP was so amazing. Ganking was amazing. Camping players, being camped. Fighting for world bosses when you had like 4 or 5 guilds just like trying to tag the boss, because we didn't have that tag system that we have in today's WoW where you just, you know, both factions tag a boss, go AFK, and it's dead. You know, now with, you know, if you want to go fight a Zergos or whatnot, you had people fighting for it. It was world domination PvP. You know, battlegrounds were exciting. The leaderboards every week always kept you on your toes with getting your honor. You know, there, you know, just dueling in general, all that stuff kind of just made me remember how amazing PvP was, and that's probably what I'm going to be doing the most of when World of Warcraft Classic comes out, is mostly the PvP aspect of WoW. And if there's a way to re-farm Grand Marshal or High Warlord and they do that again, I'm fucking down to do it. I'm down to grind it 100%. So not so much the PvE side of things for me. Like I said, I will level my warrior tank dungeons. I mean, I might do a raid or two once Classic is very settled in and people are geared. Yeah, that means getting carried, but not really getting carried. I would be doing my job because, you know, hitting Sunder armor is so fucking hard. I don't know. People had this like asinine idea that tanking was so hard in vanilla. Oh, the tanking in vanilla, we were the most epic tanks in the world. No, we weren't, bro. We had to hold aggro, defense cap. That's all we had to do, man. It wasn't that hard. People really over-exaggerated. DPS and healers, they had to go through some shit. Tanks was like, you know, you have this certain amount of health pool to survive these melee hits on this boss. You need this certain gear and this certain resist and defense cap. But in terms of actual like rotation and tanking, I'm sorry, bro, but it was fucking piss easy to actually tank back in the day. You were just there tucking in the asshole, hoping that you would get those heals on time from from your healers casting on you. So yeah, I mean, I'm more excited for PvP than I am PvE, and that's hard, for me to say, because all I do is fucking tank in current retail. But in World of Warcraft, that's all we did, right? So after we were done with Molten Core or BWL, we didn't really have shit to do in between but farm mats and PvP. So that's all we had to do. And that's what I'm most excited about for Classic, World of Warcraft Classic. I mean, if there ends up being like a guild full of like PvPers who are like, kind of farming honor and taking their turns at getting their, Marshal, Field Marshal, Grand Marshal kind of shit, then I'm down for it. That'd be kind of cool. But once again, I'm very happy that the community got what they wanted. There was always this big, fucking stamp, put on me that, oh, Towellee's anti-legacy, anti-private servers. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not anti any of that. I probably had characters on private servers before any of these bandwagon jumpers even started on this legacy shit. I just don't like the toxicity from both sides. I'm not even saying that retail is innocent. I'm pretty much saying both retail and private and legacy were going at each other's throats when Nostalrius came down, Especially on Twitch, it was like a shit show. People from all the private server supporters or vanilla major supporters of streamers, their viewers were coming into our channels, ours into theirs, back and forth, streamers talking shit. It was like, look, man, this is what I know. What I know is that at the end of the day, you have all these different communities. But what matters the most is that we all share the same passion for the same brand, for the same game. We all share a passion for World of Warcraft, the game, no matter if it's in a private server setting, a legacy setting, a classic setting, a retail setting, a BC setting, a Wrath of the Lich King setting, a Legion setting, a Draenor setting, well, maybe not Draenor, a Cataclysm setting, an MOP setting. We all loved our own era of WoW, but what's most important is that we all have the passion for the same game. It's just sometimes we don't agree on which version of WoW was the best. And obviously the main human nature of everyone is, oh, well, I think like this I think everyone should kind of think the same too, because I think I make sense. And sometimes I don't make sense. But I think that, you know, once these servers go live, and I'm going to predict probably like about maybe like a year or two. You know, we were at BlizzCon, so myself, I know Asmongold, Hodded, a bunch of other World of Warcraft personalities were trying to get as much information as we can, and there's some things that we heard, didn't hear, kind of heard, but didn't hear, you know? So, yeah, so I mean, look, I'm not anti-private. I'm not anti-legacy. I'm anti-toxicity when it comes to that kind of shit. Words were said, shit's squashed, shit's over. You know, you guys, you know, we're all getting to World of Warcraft Classic servers now, and we're all going to be under the same roof, which I think is going to be pretty awesome. Well, maybe not so awesome for the first, like, couple of months on Twitch, but eventually we'll all just kind of calm down and do our thing, which I think is really nice. Now, the big question is, you know, like, what version are we going to get of Classic, you know? Are we going to get, like, the crazy bugged out version? Are we going to get, you know, the version of WoW where, you know, everything was kind of fixed and AVs only lasted, you know, like, and sorry, I was distracted here for a second. And that's a really big deal, because there's so many quality of life changes that people want in this game. I've already seen forums going nuts about quality of life changes. Oh, I want this in the game. I want the models. I want this to be fixed. I want that to be fixed. I want class balance. And there's another side of people like, no, don't touch that shit. Once again, me, I am for leaving everything the same. Don't touch shit. Let, you know, the bugs and some of the wacky shit about Classic is what kind of gave it its, like, personality and flavor, and I'm going to stick to that, as I reiterated earlier, as I will reiterate from what I said earlier. Can't talk today. Too much streaming and talking about Classic and fucking Battle for Azeroth. But, yeah. And I hope that, you know, at the end of all this, we can all just keep playing the game that we love to play, whether it's on the Classic side of things or the retail side of things. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on World of Warcraft Classic announcement. You know, will you be there enjoying the nostalgia? Will you be just kind of still playing retail and watching what they're doing on the other streams and YouTubes or whatnot? Do you think that Classic might only last a little while after the nostalgia wears off? Or do you think that Classic has longevity enough to, like, sustain, you know, 500,000 to 1 million of WoW subs as retail is going on? I would love to hear your comments. Once again, this footage right here was basically some alpha footage from 2013 from another YouTuber. I will give them credit, and this video will not be monetized because I will not be making money off somebody else's recorded works. I don't do that shit. So once again, thank you for watching. Twitch.tv/Towelliee. Lots of conversations going on, you know, and I hope to see you guys on the Battle for Azeroth pretty soon. And, well, first, and Taurus, because we have to get rid of Sargeras, but we kind of already heard about the new expansion, so it doesn't really seem as cool anymore, but we're still going to kill Sargeras because I want my loots. It's always all about the loots. Yeah, and Alex Cuctual, please, dude, get off my fucking nutsack. For the love of God. You're killing me, bro. It's like one of those weird, let me in the house, kind of like Mark Wahlberg movie where he wants to, like, you know, fucking stalk that chick. Yo, cut it out, homie. It ain't. Yeah. Nah, sorry, bro. You're, like, dragging my nuts on the ground. It's like a pendulum. You're, like, hanging on to them. I'm like, no, Towelliee, I want to know everything about you. It's kind of weird, dude. Get off the nuts. Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.